Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Everyday English with Johnny, your go-to podcast for mastering English with fun, practical tips. I'm your host, Johnny, and I'm thrilled to be joined by my fantastic co-host, Rose. How's it going, Rose?
Hey, Johnny. Hey, listeners. I'm doing awesome and super pumped for today's episode. We're diving into a game-changing topic. Think in English, improve your speaking. Whether you're a beginner or looking to level up your fluency, this episode is for you.
Absolutely. If you've ever found yourself translating from your native language before speaking English or hesitating because you're stuck in your head, this episode will transform the way you communicate. Thinking in English is the secret to speaking naturally and confidently.
That's right. Today, we'll explore why thinking in English is so powerful, the challenges you might face, and simple, effective tips to start thinking in English right away. Plus, we've got a fun activity to help you practice. So grab a notebook, get comfy, and let's get started.
All right, Rose, let's kick things off with the big question. Why is thinking in English so crucial for improving speaking skills?
Great question, Johnny. Thinking in English is like building a direct highway between your thoughts and your words. When you translate from your native language, it slows you down, and sometimes the meaning gets lost or sounds unnatural. But when you think in English, your responses are faster, smoother, and more confident.
So true. It's like cutting out the middleman. Thinking in English also helps you build a stronger vocabulary and better sentence structures because you're processing the language directly, almost like you're living in an English-speaking world, even if you're not.
Exactly. It improves accuracy too. When you form sentences in your mind in English, you're practicing correct grammar and phrasing without even realizing it. Over time, this makes your speech more natural and polished.
And let's talk about confidence. Imagine ordering food at a restaurant. If you're translating in your head, you might hesitate or stumble. But if you're thinking in English, you can say, "I'd like a coffee, please," without missing a beat.
That's a huge benefit. Another perk is that it reduces mental fatigue. Translating is exhausting. It's like doing mental gymnastics. Thinking in English skips that extra step, making speaking feel effortless and less draining.
Plus, it spills into everyday life. When you start thinking in English, you'll notice English words, phrases, and expressions popping up naturally, whether you're watching movies, listening to songs, or chatting with friends.
It's like flipping a switch to English mode in your brain. And the best part, you don't need to be perfect to start. Even simple thoughts with mistakes are a step forward. It's all about practice.
Let's recap. Thinking in English speeds up your speaking, improves vocabulary and grammar, boosts confidence, reduces mental effort, and makes English a natural part of your life. Now, let's talk about why it's so hard to start.
Thinking in English sounds amazing, but let's address the elephant in the room. Why is it so challenging? Johnny, what's a big hurdle you've seen?
Habit. Most people have spent their entire lives thinking in their native language, so switching to English feels like writing with your non-dominant hand, awkward and unnatural at first.
That's a perfect analogy. Another challenge is vocabulary. If you don't know enough English words, you might feel stuck when trying to form thoughts, which can be frustrating.
Definitely. And then there's confidence, or lack of it. Many learners worry about making mistakes, even in their own minds. They think, what if my sentence isn't perfect? And that fear stops them from trying.
So true. Another big issue is the translation trap. Many learners are used to translating from their native language to English because that's how they were taught. Breaking that cycle is tough, but essential.
And let's not forget consistency. Even if you start thinking in English, it can feel tiring or weird at first. So it's easy to slip back into old habits when things get challenging.
Environment plays a role too. If you're surrounded by your native language all day, through conversations, media, or signs, it's harder to switch your brain to English mode.
And one more, overthinking. Some learners try to make their English thoughts perfect, which adds pressure. It's okay to start with simple, imperfect sentences and build from there.
Let's recap these challenges. 1. Habit of thinking in your native language. 2. Limited vocabulary. 3. Lack of confidence and fear of mistakes. 4. Translating instead of thinking directly. 5. Lack of consistency. 6. Limited exposure to English environments. 7. Overthinking and aiming for perfection.
These are common struggles, but they're not unbeatable. Next, we'll share practical tips to overcome them and start thinking in English like a pro. All right, Rose, it's time for the exciting part. How can listeners start thinking in English? Let's share some practical tips they can use today.
Tip 1. Labeling. Look around you and name objects in English. See a table? Think, this is a table. See a window? Think, this is a window. It's a simple way to train your brain to associate things with English words.
Love that. Take it further by describing those objects. This is a wooden table. It's big and brown. Adding details builds your ability to form sentences in your mind.
Tip 2. Self-talk. Talk to yourself in English about what you're doing or planning. For example, while cooking, think, I'm cutting carrots. I'll add them to the soup. It might feel odd at first, but it's a powerful way to practice.
Self-talk is one of my favorites because there's no pressure. Another tip, narrate your day. As you go through your routine, describe it in English. I'm walking to the store. I need apples and bread. It keeps you in English mode all day.
Great one. If you don't know a word, use a dictionary or app to look it up. That's a learning opportunity. Over time, your vocabulary will grow, making it easier to think in English.
Tip 4, think in questions and answers. Ask yourself questions like, what's my plan today? Or what do I see outside? Then answer, I see trees and cars. It's like a mini conversation in your head.
That's so creative. Tip 5. Set small challenges. Pick a specific time, like during breakfast or your commute, and commit to thinking only in English. Start with 5 minutes and increase as you get comfortable.
And don't forget technology. Use apps like Notion or your phone's notes to write down English thoughts, or try voice-to-text to practice speaking and see how your sentences come out.
Another fun one, dream in English. Okay, you can't control your dreams, but before bed, think about your day or imagine a conversation in English. Over time, your brain might start processing English even in your sleep.
That's such a cool idea. Final tip, surround yourself with English. Listen to English podcasts, watch movies without subtitles, or read books. The more English you're exposed to, the easier it is to think in it.
Let's recap these tips. 1. Label objects in English. 2. Practice self-talk about your actions. 3. Narrate your day in English. 4. Use a dictionary to learn new words. 5. Think in questions and answers. 6. Set small English thinking challenges. 7. Use technology to practice thoughts. 8. Try to dream in English before bed. 9. Surround yourself with English media.
These tips will help you build the habit of thinking in English. Next, let's bring it to life with a fun role play to show how it works.
To make thinking in English feel real, let's do a quick role play. Johnny, what's the scenario?
Let's imagine we're planning a weekend trip. I'll ask you about your plans, and you respond in English, thinking directly in the language. Then we'll switch roles. Ready?
Ready. Go ahead and ask me.
Rose, what are your plans for the weekend?
This weekend, I'll wake up early on Saturday around 7 a.m. I'll make coffee and go for a run in the park. In the afternoon, I plan to visit a museum with friends. On Sunday, I'll relax at home, maybe read a book or watch an English movie.
That sounds awesome. What kind of movie are you thinking about?
Probably an adventure movie, something exciting with cool visuals. I love movies that keep me on the edge of my seat.
Great choice. Okay, let's switch. Ask me about my plans.
Johnny, what's your weekend looking like?
On Saturday, I'm going biking with my brother. We'll start at 8 a.m. and ride along the river. After that, we'll grab lunch at a new cafe. On Sunday, I'll catch up on some work and maybe play video games to unwind.
Biking sounds so fun. Do you do it often?
Not as much as I'd like, but I try to go a couple of times a month. It's a great way to clear my mind and enjoy nature.
Awesome. Listeners, that's how easy it can be to practice thinking in English. Try this yourself. Think about your day or plans and describe them in English, even if you're just talking to yourself. It's a great way to build the habit.
Exactly. Mix it up with different scenarios, like planning a meal or describing your favorite hobby. Start with simple sentences, and soon you'll be thinking in English without effort. Wow, Rose, we've packed so much into this episode. Let's do a quick recap of Think in English, Improve Your Speaking.
We started by explaining why thinking in English is a game changer. It speeds up speaking, boosts vocabulary and grammar, builds confidence, reduces mental effort, and makes English natural. Then we covered challenges like old habits, limited vocabulary, fear of mistakes, translation, consistency, environment, and overthinking.
We shared 9 practical tips: labeling objects, self-talk, narrating your day in English, using dictionaries, thinking in questions, setting challenges, using technology, dreaming in English before bed, and surrounding yourself with English media. Plus, we did a role play to show how it works in real life.
Here's your challenge, listeners. Pick one tip from today and try it this week. Maybe label objects around your house or narrate your morning routine in English. Share how it went in the comments. We'd love to hear your progress.
And a final message. Thinking in English is a skill that grows with practice. Don't worry if it feels awkward at first. Every step you take brings you closer to fluency. Keep practicing, stay patient, and have fun with it.
Thanks for tuning in to Everyday English with Johnny. If you love this episode, please like, share, and subscribe for more tips to master English. Drop a comment with your biggest challenge or success in thinking in English, and check out our social media for extra resources. Links are in the show notes.
Until next time, keep thinking, keep speaking, and keep learning. You've got this. See you in the next episode.
Bye, everyone. Stay confident and keep English in your mind.
Bye for now.